Hi there everyone, welcome back to Dandel10n DIMS. We're going to look at types of errors and questions related to those in final exams today. This will be appropriate for all grades 10 to 12. Here are some examples of questions that was asked in theory papers regarding types of errors, either syntax, logical, or runtime. Remember, syntax is when you would get that red line over your code that prevents it to run. Logical is when you get the incorrect or no output, and runtime is the error that causes your program to crash. First one here is the division by zero. That is always a runtime error. That will also happen when you try to find the square root of a negative number. B asks us when the output of a calculated value is incorrect. That means it's a logical error. Your program runs, it does not crash, but your answer is incorrect because your processing code was incorrect. So that would be a logical error. Let's look at the first one here from another paper. No semicolon entered at the end of an instruction. Missing semicolon was the error message. That is a syntax error. You know that if you leave out the semicolon at the end of the line, you will have that red line over your screen that indicates that there's an error. And all the red lines are syntax errors. The next one says that the stock value is calculated incorrectly. There's no error message related to this. This means it is a logical error. Your calculation was incorrect. This one is rather long to read, but basically what it says is that you're running your program and the user enters the word 17 instead of 17, the number. The error message here is data type mismatch, and your program will crash, as I'm sure you have experienced if you forget to enter something in an edit box and you click the button to convert a number to an integer. The program will also crash when you enter the word 17 instead of 17 and you try to string to int that. Therefore, this is a runtime error as the error happens while my program is running. Another three examples here. The first one says the data type of a variable has not been declared. So if you are using a variable in your code, you will find a red line over that code when you try to run it. So therefore, this is a syntax error. The next question here is speaking about a time that an individual has spent on the school grounds and that it has been calculated from a data file, but the calculation is incorrect. That is a logical error. Any calculation that is incorrect is a logical error. And then the last one says that the data has been sorted according to the time the individual have entered the school grounds. The unsorted list is displayed instead of the sorted list. So you're just displaying the incorrect array or values. That means it's also a logical error. An error where the incorrect variables or arrays were displayed, or when there's no output, would be a logical error. Grade 10s, you can stop watching as we're going to move on to text files now. Sometimes we are given code like this. This is also from a past exam paper. And then we were asked why when the person wanted to click on this button here, add to file, that we found the input-output error. An input-output error will always be a runtime error as you only experience this once your program is running and some code runs reading or writing to a text file. The reason is usually because the file is still open. And if you have a look here, if this button here was clicked, there's no close file. So when you want to assign the file again, your program will crash with the input-output error. In this program here, you would also experience an input-output error. If you have a look at here, line 10, you will see that the log file is closed here. But this line is still on the inside of the loop that is reading from this text file. Without even showing you the whole question here, I could show you just part of this question from a final exam. This error here says you cannot add or change a record because a related record is required. The question said that you were inserting a record. Now first I ask here, Is the error a syntax, runtime, or logical error? Since I see this message here with a debugger exception notification at the top, I know that the program crashed when just before this message was displayed. Therefore, it is a runtime error. Remember when we looked at databases, each child needs to have a parent. And they talk here about the name of the database design concept related to this error message above. When you create your relationship, you click on a referential integrity. That means there would be no child record without a parent with that relationship that you are creating. So that would be your answer here, referential integrity. Unfortunately, I don't have a proper copy of this paper, but here is the table design. And then here this says that we're getting a message, an error message, when we're trying to delete a record from TBL clients. The record cannot be deleted or changed because the table TBL bookings includes related records. Now, we have to explain how the rule related to referential integrity has been violated. Now, remember, we have this relationship here, and if we have any records in this table left that is related to the ID, the client that we want to delete, we will get this error because no child may be left without a parent. So for that reason, we are going to get that error. This would also be a runtime error as you would experience it while your program is running. It then asks what you need to do before you can delete it successfully, and the answer to that is to delete the records relating to that client ID first from the TBL bookings table before you delete the client from the clients table. That is to ensure that no child is left without a parent. You could also alternatively change this client ID to some other existing client ID in this table if it makes sense to the scenario. There are more questions in my DIMS workbook where you can practice for question 4 and 5. Some of the questions will be related to databases only, and some are for types of errors, and others are categorized under text files and arrays. Typically questions that we would find in question 4 and 5. Please remember to leave some comments if you have anything that you would like me to explain, or if you have any questions. Thank you for watching Dandel10n DIMS. Hope to see you soon.